Hey, welcome to Papa John's World. Our project for today is a TIG cart for a 200 amp AC/DC TIG machine. Follow along and we'll get this built. Wow, that was fast. Maybe not really. Anyway, this is the TIG cart that we built. It's got 300-pound rear wheels. It has a lower deck, and I'll demonstrate why I did that to put the argon bottle on, because that one's so heavy I don't want to lift it up. Little safety chain for the argon bottle. Racks for the TIG torch, the ground, and the coil for the foot pedal. It's got holders for TIG wire for the bigger boxes. If you order a couple pounds of aluminum, they'll come in a box, plus the separate ones. And if you pull them out and cut them in half, you can put the halves in the little rack to hold those. Here's the base for the TIG cart. I welded these plates up with the TIG torch, and it kind of ate my lunch. I didn't get the inside of it clean enough, so it was boiling a little bit of porosity up. When I get some better weld, I'll be glad to share that with you guys. The next mistake, my axles. I need a 1/4 inch more axle out here to hold space for my wheel, so I need about 3/8 of an inch. I'm probably just going to weld this up. We're going to cut out a half of a 3/4 inch radius. It don't have to be exact. I'll cut it out a little more than I need, and I'll fill it with weld. I'll just grind this. So I had a gap that was probably over 1/4 of an inch on that. And that's what's handy about a wire feeder. You can spend a lot of time making everything perfect, or you can just fill it up pretty quick. You have a little gap like that and you hit it and it keeps bouncing back. Put a little tack on it. Then while it's hot, you're going to hit it. Sorry, hit the camera. But that when that tack's on, it works just like a rivet. It'll pull it up tight. cut the axle out. That argon bottle weighs 143 pounds empty, and full it weighs 31 more pounds. So 40, 71, 74 pounds, something like that. So 174 pounds. So when I put my wheels on, they'll be down about here. I'm going to make the tank holder about 3/4 of an inch off the ground. So when I roll that bottle up there, I can just tip it and slide it right into the rack. I don't have to try to pick it up. I thought that would be better than my other ones. I have to lift the bottle up and put in. And I just thought I could do better design than that. So while we're talking about this a little bit, there's some of my ideas. And remember, I'm working with what I had left over. I didn't buy any steel for this. I had some 2x2x8. I didn't have enough 2x2x8 to do it all, but I had this 2x1 by 1/8. So the front and this piece of that, and what that's actually going to do, it's going to free me up a little bit of room for some rod holder. I'm going to put a couple pieces of square tubing and some pipe down here, and the same up here. So I have some bigger rod that's going to stick out a little bit. It come in a cardboard box. So I think different sizes of these boxes. This is 1/16 aluminum, and it just comes like that in a cardboard box. So I want to be able to keep it in the box with the lid on it, just to keep it clean. To show the Milwaukee hole dozer how they work. Unscrew that in, and that just lifts out, and then you can unscrew it. They never get so tight you can't take them apart, and then you can get different size bits. When I need one, I just buy the size I need. I don't have the whole set. But you just line up the two of the 4 holes so you get it pretty accurate, and then screw down the locking nut, and that holds it together. I've not seen a better system. I'm sure it's patented. If you're gonna do hole saws, it's worth the money for those. They just work well. All I want to do is make sure I miss that shaft. Okay, and I can't get into my vise that way. I run out of throw on my drill. Get more of the and I'll poke a hole through the bottom, and I'll flip it over to drill the other side. There, that'll keep the top lined up. And we won't worry so much about the bottom. Mostly people are not going to stick their head under there to look. Okay. Oop, not that one. Missed that one. I skipped one. wife just sent me a text and said their golden eagle caught a rabbit right out the window. Oh, sure enough. Oh, that was fun. My apron started flapping in the window and it scared him off, darn it. That was fun though. You have to be pretty careful doing that with a big grinder. If your grinder catches on the steel, it can bend the steel, it can throw the grinder out of your hands. I've had a lot of practice. I started working in a welding shop when I was 17. It was a little blacksmith shop, and I worked there for 2.5 years through high school. So I was 16 and a half when I went to work for them. I learned a lot. They didn't have guards for grinders, or if they did, everybody threw them away. But you're going to grind, you should leave your guard on your grinder. Hey, that's all shinned up. I'm just going to push that flat when I tack it. And I've grounded to the machine because we have bearings here and bearings there, and you don't want your electric path going through a bearing. They can arc and ruin them. I forgot to subtract 3/4 of an inch for this plate, and my tire come out 1/4 of an inch higher than that, so it's not going to work. But we're just going to cut this off, clean it up, and weld it on again. When we're done, nobody will know it except me and you. Yep, I made my legs too long. Took me about 30 minutes to cut that off. Weld it back up. Mistakes are made. It's a little hot. There we go. That's more better. 5/8 of an inch underneath it. So I'm thinking I can just tip my bottle and put it up there instead of lift it up. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It's been fun. It didn't cost me anything, about 30 bucks for the wheels. Harbor Freight, the 2 back tires were on sale for like $6.99 a piece. And the casters, they were a little more. They were $9 bucks a piece. So basically $30 for the wheels. The rest of it is all scrap out of my steel storage shop that I just worked with what I had. Works for me. I have a project to do with this already. I want to show that to you before I leave. My son-in-law restores older motorcycles, mainly the ones that he wore out when he was a kid. Anyway, this is a water-cooled YZ250, one of the early models, and they neglected to put antifreeze in the water when they run it in the summer, and then they didn't worry about it in the winter. It cracked in the water jacket right there, and a smaller crack on this side. And he had spent a bunch of time honing out for the new cylinder package, and then noticed it had them cracks. He looked up the new part for it, and this older model was about $600 for this water-cooled casting. I'm pretty sure I can fix it by V'ing that out and just welding that cast aluminum. Be sure and subscribe so you get to watch that video. I think it'll be very interesting. I'll strip it down a little farther and we'll bake it a little bit before we try that. Thanks for watching Papa John's World. Be safe. Please subscribe so you can watch all the videos. We have about 35 and then a few sunsets and stuff that my wife sure likes. So thanks for watching.